Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shed. I'm Troy Shaw, and with me is Dave Griffiths. How's it going, Dave?
It's going good, man. The spring is sprung, and my head is full of snot. But hey, let's get this thing rolling.
Let's do it one more time. We have a couple of guys in the Shed with this John Maxwell and Isaac Martinez. They've been around. They've been around the music scene for a long time. But most recently, they got the band Loz Roachez with a Z, right?
True that.
With the Z.
But you guys have been playing in all kinds of bands throughout the years, and I know Isaac, you play with a lot of different bands, even today. So, how you guys doing?
Good.
Doing great, man. Doing fine.
Having a good time because it feels good outside.
It does feel good outside. So, tell us a little bit about. Start with you, John. What got you into music? When did you realize you could sing?
From birth.
You were singing right out of the womb.
Out of the diaper, man.
Were you like out of the canal singing?
There was a slight echo.
One of those Rob Halford, like, yeah, come out just like that.
No, man, it was one of those weird deals, man, where all the kids were outside playing, and I was under the stairs with the Kiss tape, 8-track, trying to sing. My older brothers and sisters were like, "Shut up, man! Just shut up!"
So was that Kiss Destroyer or Kiss Alive, or which one was it that really got you going?
When I grew up in Clute, Texas. All right.
Where's that?
It's down south near like Texas City and League City and Galveston and all that. And my older brother and sister, they were hippies, man, back in the day, because at that time everybody was trying to
get a rock and roll band because Janis Joplin made it famous from there, right?
Be free. It was still hippies time, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. The very first time I don't know if I didn't know why I was doing it, but I was like learning lyrics and I was writing lyrics down and I was very attuned to music, but I had no idea what it was going to be about. I was the kid that was under the steps listening to music with the headphones on while the other kids were throwing rocks through, windows.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean,
playing football or doing whatever they do.
I still play football because the chicks are out there,
Yeah, right.
Back in the day, they had the really short skirts, So we
still do.
They do. But yeah, it was early on. I remember something was there. It was a bug, and ultimately it didn't ever. I was about 18 or so when a friend of mine, we went out to the lake and stuff, and he had this guitar with this really tiny Marlboro amplifier.
Yeah, it's called a cigarette amp. I have one.
Right. He pulled that thing out and he
fact,
started.
It's called a Smoky amp. I have a sticker right here.
Got it right there, so you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
We're out in the by the out by the lake.
A sticker like that means something totally different. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah,
wow.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
And so we started. He was playing some notes and stuff. It was Kel Allen, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you remember him. He was from Robinson. Really cool dude. And he had this Ibanez Steve Vai custom with the handle and stuff.
The gem
chrome.
Is what it was called. It
was chrome color.
Yeah.
And he's out there and he's playing this thing. And he's just going through, Rat and Journey and Foreigner and, whatever. Guns N' Roses, a little band called Guns N' Roses. And we were playing around and stuff, and that's how it started,
So did you get any encouragement before you got to 18 from your parents or anything like that? Said, hey son, you got some pipes,
Absolutely.
Did
it
you
was
go to
absolutely
church
closet.
And sing or anything like
it was
that?
Absolute closet.
Really?
My mother probably, my father passed early. My mom didn't see me ever perform until, later on. So yeah, it was a complete shock. There's no musicians in the family.
No kidding.
Isaac, just a weird deal.
You got some killer chops. Tell us about your early exposure to music and what got you picking up the sixth string and rocking out.
I guess it was I think it started off at church. my dad was a deacon, you know, and all my cousins at the time were musicians. And then my other cousins were athletes. So I had that dilemma until I was in my 20s, whether to play ball or to play guitar. No, baseball. I love playing baseball. That's what I wanted to do. But then I knew when I was in high school, I quit playing football when I was a junior, and I just didn't want to play. I just wanted to play ball and guitar. It was just going to be one of the two. And so up till like maybe, I guess by the time I was at MCC, I had the discussion. Well, Fraser gave me the talk.
Oh, you took the music program
Yeah, I
with Kenny
did.
Fraser?
Oh, shit. All those guys were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those guys were all, masters. But, like Kenny, he knew how much when I do something, I go all in. That's just what I do. If I'm in it, I'm in it to win it. That's just, I've been like that. I don't know what it is, because I'm half musician, half athlete, or whatever. But he's telling me, it's like, you got to have one or the two, either baseball or music. And I wanted music, so I wanted it so much when I got a road offer when I was at MCC. I didn't even finish MCC. I took off. I hit the road, and I've been doing that. I was Tejano, something way different, because I was raised up there in the country. We was raised up.
Where's that?
In Blue Ridge, right between Cossie and Marlin.
Okay.
It's a small town. There's nobody there. Like, you walk outside, you have no next door neighbors. It was like that, because my dad was an iron worker / rancher. We lived on a big ranch. My grandpa was a rancher.
So you started out playing Tejano music?
No, I started out playing rock. I was in church. I wanted to be a musician. My cousins played church music, so I learned how to play something. But I guess once I saw Eddie Van Halen, like Hot for Teachers, like, that's the motherfucker I want to be right there.
Right.
I mean, because I live out there in the country, and this motherfucker lives in the city, where all the chicks look like that and dancing on tables. That's the shit I want. And
you
that's
didn't
what
have teachers like that in that
I
school
didn't,
you went
man.
to?
I never did. That must have been an LA thing.
No, I didn't like the chicks at all. I just wanted to make a statement.
But I went from playing, I was,
Chicks
high school rock band stuff to like, and then I started playing, of course, the old Dallas Highway thing when I was like 18, 19, which is like country for the first 3 sets, rock the last set. And then once I got in my 20s, like, okay, you want to get paid like $35 an hour? You want to get paid man's money?
An hour or a night?
No, playing music.
I know, but you said you $35 an hour?
$35 a night.
A night, yeah. I didn't think it was $35 an hour.
$35 a night, playing bars.
Agents.
Yeah,
apparently.
Playing bars. You want to do that, or do you want to make man's money? So it was like, I went on the road playing Tejano, and at like 21 years old, getting paid pretty decent money. I mean, like, if you were at a state, like 2.5. And it was back in the
So did you
90s.
have to play
Shit, yeah, I'm going to do it,
Did you have to play a bajo sexto or
I
anything
played
like
the guitar.
You just
No,
play guitar?
actually, no. I started off playing bass. I just wanted a road gig. I started off playing bass.
Going,
bass is,
doom.
So I thought, but people think, because
No,
a lot
Tejano
of it
music is freaking
but
difficult.
But it's the stuff he was doing was more, it's either like the traditionals, the 4-piece with the accordion, which I love.
Well, you know what?
what
I just heard?
What's up?
Flaco Jimenez is playing here in Waco.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, he is the king. And I love Flaco, and I
True that.
love Los Super 7. And,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
The Dwight stuff.
yeah, the Dwight stuff he did, and all the bands he
Mavericks,
played with.
everybody.
But he's a legend. That's going to be here in Waco, folks.
That's my
in
daddy's
like a couple months. And if you miss him, you might not get to see him again because he's
an
not
old
a
guy. I mean, he's like
youngster,
Merle Haggard. You got to catch him, My daddy used to see, when my dad used to be, go to bars and stuff, because my dad was a deacon. But, back, everybody was young. Back in San Antonio, him and my mom used to live there. And after working construction, he'd go to this bar, and on Mondays, Flaco would practice there on Mondays. He'd see Flaco just jam there. He'd drink fucking beer.
Well, he's only
Flaco
played
jam.
with Rolling Stones and
Right.
everyone.
True that.
So, Flaco is great, and that's cool. So you were obviously got sucked into the Tejano music scene, and I don't know, Cajunto or whatever.
Yeah, voluntarily, though, it consumed me at the time. It was great. I mean, at that time, it was...
Could you throw in some Eddie Van Halen licks during some Tejano music?
I could, but I didn't, because I was, But at the time, it was really cool because that's when Emilio and Selena were doing well. So that's when that movie was. That's when that time was, very.
When I was my high school band, my bass player was a Mexican guy, and his in San Saba, all the Mexicans were pretty much kindred.
Oh yeah, I know.
So his relatives had a Tejano band. So we got to play. We were playing like this was the '80s, so we were playing like Poison and all that.
Oh, 80s stuff. Yeah, I used to play that.
So we used to play the VFW in Lampasas, and we would play on these guys' breaks. So it'd be a Tejano band. And then we get up there and play like
those
3 songs on their break.
Shit too, though.
The first was like, "What the hell is this shit?" I thought they were gonna throw stuff at us, but
those motherfuckers like that shit, dude.
When they figured out the format.
Back in the '80s, if you were a musician, you couldn't deny '80s music, whether you loved it or hated it. It was fucking there, like the whole the metal thing. I mean, it was there. That's what got me. But really, you couldn't deny it, whether you're playing country or not. It's like that's fucking music that's fucking gonna consume anybody that listens to it.
So did you play electric or just acoustic back then? I mean, if you were into that stuff, you had electric guitar.
Oh yeah, Eddie Van Halen.
Mijo, he's not really living on a prayer. He isn't living on a prayer, mijo.
Actually,
Stop crying.
My mom thought they were.
So John, you were 18, jamming at the lake. What was your first band? Did you start a band soon after that? Did you join this guy in the band, or what? How'd you get the ball rolling?
Exactly that. We said, hey man, we sound good. Let's do something. And Kel Allen, man, he was the guy that got me started. Really cool dude, man. He's living a life, and he's in Australia, and his wife and him, they live in England, and they're in between, and it's really cool. She went to Baylor and graduated Baylor and went on to be in, really big things. So he went with her. And but he was the guy that got me started. He had the cool stuff. He knew how to use the equipment, and and
he had the PA.
That
was usually the guy that has the PA.
No, man, we got a guy named Tom Solomon. In the band.
Oh yeah, Tom
Solomon, man, and
what did he play?
He was a drummer, or he is a drummer.
He is a drummer,
and he got his dad in the picture. Somebody gave us a loan. Well, anyway, we paid it off over, and I still have that. It's like a 16-channel. PV.
That big motherfucker.
It's like huge. Man, Kel dragged it around to England and Australia, and finally came back to Waco and said, "Man, I got something for you."
One thing about PV, dude, those motherfuckers, you can kill a motherfucker with it, and it will last.
You can
drop it off an 18-wheeler moving at 80 miles an hour, and it'll work the next day.
It's got huge, like 2x4 ends on it, and it keeps all that stuff together. But he ended up showing up and pulled up in his truck and put it out. It was wrapped with that Manila sandwich paper stuff that they that they put it at the barbecue place.
Butcher paper.
Yeah. Wrapped up, taped up, had all these stamps from being all over the world. He goes, "I can't take this thing anymore. Take it back, please." But
I'm done.
But we started back in this little garage, and we had our parents behind us, and I was the oldest guy in the band, and so Tom Solomon's dad somehow hooked us up with some loan, and he put us through an interview about who's got jobs and stuff. And he goes, "Well, he's got the best job, so we'll make him pay for it."
So he was kind of vetting you like you would a vice presidential candidate.
Well, it was his kid asking for, he was a Midway kid. Tom went to Midway, so they had a little coin, and we were all poor. We were from the 05, so or in Robinson, which is almost as bad. And so anyway, we ended up with this PA system. We went to what was it? Back in the day. Oh, man.
Hatterman Sue's. Something Sue's.
No. It was the music store.
Lone Star.
No,
Ray Henning.
Ray Henning, man. It was Ray Henning's when it was
on Valley Mills.
When it was across from cinema.
So you got this band going. Y'all had a You were singing.
We were called Naked April.
Oh man. Were y'all kind of an '80s hair metal band at that
We
time?
were kind of. We were. we did it all.
Did you do all
The tight
just covers,
pants.
or did you do?
Did he have parachute pants?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Did you do mostly covers back then, or?
Oh, we
you
did all
put-
covers.
Yeah.
No, we
You got
couldn't
any
do anything
video of
else.
this stuff, man? It'd be awesome to see.
You know, none of us could afford anything that could take video. You know what I mean?
You mean you didn't have an iPhone? You couldn't.
No, we didn't have any of that. But plus, you couldn't trust me with any of that shit
That
anyway.
sucked back then anyway.
We started out with a band called Naked April, and they were.
What does that even mean? Oh, there's a girl named April that's naked, I'm
No,
sure. Because if it's a month, I don't get it.
Naked April.
We need to switch that to April.
Naked April. We sat around and we had all these words, you know, on a piece of paper.
You threw a dart.
I did the same thing.
No, and we
So
marked
many-
them out. We marked them out. We finally got to. We were going to be the carpet baggers.
All right. Well, that's a good.
Carpet
Monkey
baggers.
Would have been better
And then
or whatever.
it was bad. No, we marked these words out till we came up with Naked April, and that was our first band. And we played 0 gigs. We learned 17 songs, and that was all we could do.
I'm done. I'm out.
No one would hire you if you only did 17 gigs, 17
Well, you
songs.
could just repeat them.
No, you can't. Not when you're 12. They don't want to hear
okay,
that
I got
shit.
you. I got you. I did not.
No,
thought
we
you
were
already an
no, we
adult,
were
or-
no, we were 18,
18,
19.
okay.
We were 18, 19. But yeah, we ended up going. It was Naked April, Tongue and Groove. That Tongue and Groove's a whole nother thing.
You guys have another cover band, mostly covers. You gotta do any original stuff, or
No, we're actually working on that stuff.
Yeah, we are.
do you write? Because back in your original music days, did you write lyrics and music or
We had a band with 3 writers. We all wrote. Some of the heavier stuff was mine. You know, the more melodic stuff might have been Jody Harlan. Daryl Ray from Guilty Pleasure. I mean, it was a who's who of, at the time. Everybody that I played with are still playing now. David Doran, Paul Miller, Tim Maze, Jimmy Kay. I mean, Gary Summers. Gary Summers has been playing with me for 20 years. And good friend of mine. I love him like a brother. Always. He when we brought him back in, it was a bad time because Buckle had gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Buckle had gone on a vacation, and so we needed someone to fill a gap. And so Gary popped in and helped us out, and we got through it.
had Gary
And
stopped playing for a while?
Gary had stopped playing. He was playing with Driving Blind and Voodoo Moon and some other things, and he needed to reset and get back to what was important in his life. And so he took a break. And luckily, I was in a position where we needed him for a small little section. And then right after we used him, Buckle got hurt, and it ended up being a bigger thing than we thought. We were just kind of letting him play and just break out. He was going through some things and had gotten divorced and stuff, and so we gave him a little break to come out and play, and it ended up turning into what it is now. And he's been an integral part of my career. He's the hardest playing drummer.
Yeah, I've known Gary a long time too.
Hardest playing.
That's another
drummer in
guy
town.
I've known. Seems like I've known Gary forever, but I don't know. I don't remember where and when I met him.
Well, he was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with Riff Raff.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I appreciate
That's where I
that.
met
Riff Raff.
That's where I met him. Yeah.
And if you didn't know Gary, I mean, you didn't know Riff Raff if you didn't know Gary.
Yeah.
There was one other cat, Scott Merenstein, before him, that played the bar, not quite like Gary, but played this serious drum solo, and at the end had this fiery gong. Bam!
Yeah.
He would be able to catch stuff on fire every
Remember,
now
you
and
gotta have
then.
all the cool shit.
Did he have
Yeah.
like a John Bonham gong?
Scott Merenstein was the baddest drummer in Waco, Texas, but
Scott
no one
Merenstein?
saw him.
I
No
never-
one ever saw him because he played with Riff Raff for a very short time and then shot off to Austin and started playing with a band called Porcelain Grind. Look it up. Another Waco cat that's lead singer, Porcelain Grind. You can find some stuff at the back room. YouTube it, singing some bitch. I can't remember his name right now, the singer, but he was a Waco dude. But Scott Merenstein, he was the. I watch the drummer. I'm a singer. I don't give a damn about that dude. I'm bored. I watch the drummer most of the time. If he's a good drummer and he's got a thing. So Scott Merenstein was actually the very first time I saw Riff Raff. He was with that band, and they actually. We lived upstairs from one of the Riff Raff practice pads and vice versa. So we ended up a couple different times.
Those were the days. I remember when I first moved to Waco, you had to go see Riff Raff.
Yeah, you had to.
They were like the band, seemed like back then when I first moved here.
Raunch and roll,
91,
baby.
92, it was like, let's go see Riff Raff. And that's who you went to go see.
Jimbo Ward was Bon Scott.
Yeah.
I remember
him
the missing
he
tooth.
would stand on the tables and knock beer bottles
because
off
he was 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
He was the only people that stand on the table.
He was nuts, man.
He's the only cat that could stand on the table at Sue's because they had that suspended ceiling with about 3 inches of tequila and nicotine hanging from the top. So, and he had this hair. That looked like some pseudo Gene Simmons.
Like Carrot Top back in the day. Remember that dude,
Carrot Top? Gene Simmons had a baby. That was him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But awesome performer, man.
That was the man back in the day.
I bust his balls a little bit. He was definitely the shit back in the day.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to play a song for us?
Sure, let's do one.
What are you gonna do? You gonna do original song, cover song?
We'll do original.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
We have a lot of bike support here in Waco, Texas. All the clubs, they've always supported us and kept us working and everything. This song is kind of one of those songs that I think holds some truth right now, and we're going through a hard time right now. If you are a guy that rides in Waco, Texas, it's been a tough year. And this is one of those songs that we sent out to our brothers that ride in Waco, Texas.
It's Loz Roachez original.
Only the lonely come back home. Only, the lonely come back home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. How can you see through me? Just a man with a gun in my hand. No one over here, no one over there can catch me if you can. Some might call me crazy, some don't call at all. No one over here, no one over there can catch me when I fall. So only come back home. Only, the lonely come back home.
Nice job, guys.
Gracias, bro.
Excellent. That was a great song, guys. Let's get back to the shed. Troy?
Hey,
I thought you were going to lead into this.
I did.
I thought you had this like great question you were going to ask.
What an awesome night it is tonight here in the shed. I mean,
Texas.
Let's talk about
Gotta
John.
love
Let's
Texas.
talk about your. Is it Rubber Soul? That was the band name, right?
Man.
And you took that band. You stole that band from the Beatles.
No, I had no idea. I thought the fucking Beatles were country.
You were in a band called Rubber Soul back in the day. How many albums? You went and recorded an album or two, and
We were gonna be called the Sweat Box, because we actually
Cox
practiced.
would have been cooler, but
We actually
whatever.
practiced behind Gary Summers' house in this weird little kind of shed like this, and it was hot.
Hey,
it was in
hey,
June.
hey, watch it.
Anyway, no, I will tell you what, man. I had
that was a big part of your life, being in this band Rubber Soul.
Well, I'll start it from the beginning, man. This is a strange story, but
You were 29 and 30 in the waist, as Classic Blue would say.
let me try to figure out where. All right, man.
Nice.
I had this band. We were the Tongue and Groove, and we practiced right behind Land Sharks or whatever it is on Franklin. We had Hangar 18. We practiced.
18.
Yeah, we practiced back there. No one liked that shit at the time, but we practiced back there, and I learned 17 songs. I could never plateau enough to play anywhere. I think we went and what was that place? It's Uncle Dan's now.
Oh yes.
Walk across
Something Texas or
Oh,
some
Little
shit.
Bit of Texas.
Little Bit of Texas.
Oh, that was the
They had an
place,
open
man.
mic night, and I wasn't even old
Wednesday
enough.
night was nickel beer. That's all I remember.
And they had the worst guys in town playing open mic or something, and it was open mic 80s, so everybody sang like
Bon Jovi shit.
No, it was even worse. It was like, Motley Crue, Live Wire type shit. No one could hit a note. But I remember sitting there and I'm thinking, one, I'm fucking using somebody else's ID to get in here to drink. If I fall over here, I'm probably going to jail because it ain't me. And I might be kind of tooting my own horn, but I could sing in the bathroom. It was cool.
The reverb was awesome.
It was. And when you spent 9 hours at a time in the bathroom,
Did you ever do that? Thank you, Cleveland. You just do
Yeah, right.
I used to do that, but whatever. That's just me.
it never panned out. I didn't even know about that. part
Okay,
of
man, I
it.
got you.
But back to what you were saying. We started at these weird, kind of places that
Open mic nights.
open mics and that kind of thing. But once we'd gotten past all that and we'd grown up a little bit, I knew I could sing, but I had to get a job. So I had to have a job. And then we met these people that were like Tony Calhoun, Jaybird Clower, Jimmy Jones, a lot of these guys that were playing around here, Stepping Stone.
Oh yeah, those guys were kick ass.
Country bands that played rock and could pack Sue's number 2.
Remember, back in the day
on a Wednesday.
Back in the day when fucking Cherokee Rose was like, they were like fucking rock stars. Some motherfuckers back in those days.
Cherokee Rose.
My God, back in those days were
2009
pack them, man, like
in the 90s,
dudes, yes. Those
Crazy
guys,
money.
Man. Yeah, it was. Back in those days, even they even had a road crew, and them motherfuckers were making good money.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean, they had the light crew and the big PA system, and they could play all the outdoor gigs. And
do that.
We had the 15s if we were lucky.
I hear you.
And they, Deets were beasts.
Oh,
if you can find a good set of Deets 15s right now, I'll buy them.
If you
I'll
find
buy
a good set of Deets, you got a broke ass back. The motherfuckers were heavy.
Yeah, they were heavy. But yeah, I mean, it was all these things just finally led up to this deal where one time it was basically, hey man, I heard you can sing. You want to play? We're like, yeah, I'll come play. Who am I going to come play with? It's like Tony Calhoun, Jimmy Jones, Jay Bird. I'm singing background vocals for Tony Calhoun in my very first band.
Wow, kick ass.
You know, and it was Tony Calhoun and Just Cause, and I kind of came up, and I was doing a little bit of, I was bringing some of that, I am smelling like a rose, and, you know, Just Cause never played anything like that. It was all, you know, ain't no sunshine when she, you know, it was all that blues and stuff. So I brought the rock side to it, you know.
Did you ever see Calhoun whenever he jammed with Eddie Shaver in here or no? Some people did. I did, and I was probably playing on the road.
Eddie Shaver's one of my heroes.
Oh, of course, mine for sure. One of the top 5. Yeah. I'm not even kidding you.
Well, I saw Tony Calhoun the very first time at Chelsea Street Pub, and I walked up. I was like a fan instantly. I walked up.
Supposedly, I think they knew each other. I'm not sure. I mean, it's just Waco stories. Who knows? But I suppose they knew each other. But just, I'd love to, if it ever happened, jam session with them motherfuckers, I'm sure it would have been badass.
Eddie Shaver is obviously one of the top 10 guitarists.
Rest his soul, man.
No, so you were singing background for Tony Calhoun. So, bringing the rock edge to the band.
You know, to bring it back to where it actually mattered, man. It all started, we were doing those little 17 songs we could never play anywhere. We were too young. One guy was too young or whatever. So I kind of let it go. And we met these folks and at a not an open mic, but PJ's.
I remember PJ's.
Was a karaoke way back.
Oh, yes, about the YMCA.
Isn't it still karaoke every night?
The lady's wig was like, when she walked up, her fucking wig was hanging off.
She's still there. She's still there.
I bet she is.
I hope so.
I bet she is. Isn't that PJ? Isn't that PJ?
Yeah, her name is PJ.
Yeah, that's
the thing burned down. Somebody burned it down because I think the Shame wanted that spot or something. I don't know why they burned it down.
Yeah.
Not really. But that was the very first place that I played and actually played in front of people that would give me a job. So it was like, whew, at the end of the night, they were like, hey, you need to go practice with these guys. And it was Cindy Barron was the key integral part that got me moving and got me going after what I'm doing now. And she hooked me up with some people, and she goes, you sing real good, you're scared, you do some things, you know. She taught me a few things and kind of said, you know, meet these guys. And so I ended up playing my very first shows where I knew 8 songs at Sue's Number 2, and we repeated them like you said, because, you know, it was one of those deals.
Made them a lot longer than they should have been, maybe.
Tony, when I joined, Tony ended up going his way, and I stayed with those guys, and I'm not really sure what that was all about, but he was an influence in my life because he's a solid cat now, you know.
Yeah.
And we were kind of in that same spot, but he's always given me good advice, and I've always talked to him. He's a spiritual guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's not too big for his britches when he can be, but he ain't.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the deal.
He's got more stories than
he does
than anybody.
You know, I think it was one of the funnier interviews we did was with Tony here. It was like number 2 or 3 or something like that.
When that guy talks, it's like from his chest. It's like, whoa, like a bear's in the room.
No doubt.
And the man can sing the phone book.
God.
Yeah.
Man can sing the phone book. Yeah.
We'll talk about Rubber Soul.
Well, Rubber Soul was one of those deals where I didn't realize it had anything to do with the Beatles thing, and we did the whole Rock Band 101. We made flyers, we went to the big parking lots, we put them on cars, and we promoted. And the name Rubber Soul,
thank God for Facebook, but whatever. Go ahead.
back then there was no Facebook.
Maybe, not even email.
It was not even there was not even face space yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did that whole thing, and we started realizing we'd play these places, and all these guys in flowery beach stuff and beach balls, and all these old dudes with gray beards were showing up to our shows, thinking it was a Beatles tribute. Because we did all this promo and all these fucking flyers with us all standing badass, you know, leather and all.
But they just saw the name and thought
the
Beatles.
Hey man, you know, and we did it downtown, right by all the, you know, downtown. So one guy said, "Oh, it's a Beatles tribute band," and it was a lie. But it flooded through downtown Waco, so we had all these people following us for about 4 or 5 gigs.
Yeah, and then
I let it happen. I let it happen, dude. I made $5 a head. I made $5 a head on some of them deals.
Then that shit died.
It died.
I'm sure out of all those gigs, you did grab some fans here and there.
We did. We were the only cats kind of doing bluesish rock type originals. We did no covers. Not one. Not one. And so we would bring along guys that played originals, and we were able to play in Sue's Number 2 and all these places that traditionally would want a 4-hour band that plays all covers, and if you don't play covers, you suck. It was Just Cause, and then it turned into Jaywalkers, and I played like 300 shows with the Jaywalkers, and we did rock, blues, and all that stuff. But what we did was we kind of slipped under the radar, but we did all originals.
Nice.
And there were bands like T. Aguilar that did Oho, David Doran, and all those guys that they're really the kind of the backbone of that arts type rock that's going on. And you know, at the beginning of the night, we look at each other and go, let's do what gets us off.
Exactly right.
We have to get off, or they don't get off.
That's how we got Loz Roachez to begin with, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we did play.
And that's a great philosophy.
When I first saw Loz Roachez on Facebook, I thought you were a Tejano band.
Everybody thought
that, and we fought for that name. I fought for that name.
No,
but the funny
now
thing
we
was,
know.
the funny thing was, hey,
is not a Tejano band.
check it out. When he and I got together, Chris Buckle called me up and said, Isaac is going to call you. He wants to do an album. He called me up and said, hey, man, we want to record some music. It was basically one of those things where, okay, yeah, I know you, you know me. We'll get together. We did a benefit for Daryl Ray. He had a back surgery or something. We did it at Rumors or CNR, yeah. And we talked, and I said, you know, let's learn some songs. If we could stand each other at the end of it, let's get a band. We went to Robinson, played in Buckle's garage, kind of like this, and within about 2 minutes,
but not this nice.
We knew it. Yeah, it was pretty close.
Bigger.
We looked at each other, and I was like, you know, I hadn't played in a couple years, and I looked at everybody, and I was like, oh damn, I'm back in. We played that gig, and the next week they booked us, and 4 years later, here we are, you know.
Loz Roachez is in the shed tonight.
True that.
And Loz Roachez is going to play another song for us right now. What do you think, guys?
Let's do a schizo.
Schizo? All right.
Why not?
This is one of those songs that, man, it came up a few years ago. Maybe it's been a year now? A year or so?
I don't know, a couple of years maybe. I don't know, maybe about a year. I have no idea. Yeah, a couple years for
they
sure.
flipped it on me, and I was like, wow. Yeah, this is one of those cool songs right here that kind of, it gives you the feeling of the past and something new, but kind of revives the blues thing. And
keeping Austin music still
kind of keeping
going.
the Austin thing going, and it, you know, it's amazing what's coming out of there, man. And this is one of the songs that we do. Woke up in New York City, lying on the floor. Yeah, just outside of Montez West 54. Well, you're gonna know know my name by the end of the night. Yeah. You're gonna know my name by the end of the night. Yeah. Bright lights, big city going to my head. Bright lights, big city going to my head. Bright lights, big city going to my head. I don't care, no, you don't care, no. Oh. Yeah. Start off with the bottle, ended up with the bottle, taking shots, waiting on tomorrow, trying to fill up what's hollow. You're gonna know my name. You're gonna know my name. Well, bright lights, big city going to my head. Bright lights, big city going to my head. Bright lights, big city going to my head. I don't care, no, if you don't care, no. Ooh. Well, well, well. Hey, yeah, yeah. Well, well, well. I went back to the city trying to find myself. I went up a different person, come down somebody else. I know it ain't right, it's all in my head, but I'm surprised that I'm still alive. I should be dead. Bright lights, big city going to my head. Bright lights, big city going to my head. Bright lights, big city going to my head. I don't care, no, you don't care, no. You're gonna know my name, yeah, yeah. You're gonna know my name. Well, well, well. Gonna know my name by the end of the night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo, good day.
Nice job, guys.
All right, good job, man. Hey, we want to thank John and Isaac for being in the shed this evening. We had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Had a great time, man.
All right.
I dig it.
Thanks, man. See
You're
you guys
a lot taller than I thought.
We'll see you guys next time in the shed.